Hey everyone, and remember, click that bell in the right hand of your corner so you'll be notified every week when we drop a new episode at 12. Like and subscribe and continue to follow Femme Queen Crazy, Sexy, Cool.
We had to do a little Soul Train. Bitch.
I love to go.
You know I'm okay. I'm out of
breath already.
What's poppin'? What's poppin'?
I forgot all them old school dances. I was thinking about my grandma.
You had to think about your grandma.
Yeah, we used to dance back in my house, baby. They danced.
Why they was flat iron was with a hot comb in the hair.
The hot comb. You remember that? Yeah.
That's
Frying fish
grease.
grease.
Oh, y'all hear something?
No, not me.
You know, Tabytha.
We was back, and she was talking about when I was talking about my grandmother, how they used to do the straightening comb back in the day. You know, put it on the eye, wave it, put it on the cloth so it don't, and you pretend straight, you get to it. Get them kitchens and everything.
I get everything. Get them
But what's going on? How y'all ladies doing? What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Femme Queen Crazy.
Sexy.
Ooh.
We here. We made it again.
Definitely made it, girl.
Bitch, it was hard.
It was hard.
The bitch is tired. I'm tired. This thing. I'm tired.
Put
This
me on
thing.
waist trainer, baby.
You what?
She said, call me a waist trainer. God.
I'm tired.
This bitch gotta pull it together. That's the smash up.
How was y'all week?
My week was I'm learning, and so remember last week I had told you guys that I have been open and available for relationships again. And the more I'm getting into that, I'm realizing that I actually like talking, like dating more than one person.
You like to, so you're a serial dater.
Yeah, but I think I want to take that as far as like, I don't think I like serious things as far as like the commitment level as like more. I like my own private space. I love that. I like the fact that make sure you comments hear me well. But anyway, because you gotta get
Please
to the
speak
mic.
it to the mic, bitch.
Speak it to the
Please,
mic.
y'all speak it to that goddamn mic.
Speak it to the
But
mic.
no, seriously, I'm
And watch
really,
our
I'm
breaths
really
too,
thinking
bitch, because they talk about the breathing.
we
So
be, blame that on what's his name, Dalamo.
Dalamu.
Dalamo.
Yeah.
Yeah, we behind. No,
I know
but
what you're talking
seriously,
about.
I'm really, I don't know, I enjoy dating more than one person. I think it's dope for me. I like it. It's really fun.
So what about Polly? Because Tabytha was.
So you just
You
want
wanna
to
talk
talk
about-
stuff out like that?
You want to talk about that, Tabytha?
No.
You don't want to tell us about Polly because I'm so interested in
No,
that.
she's a politician.
Girl, what? No.
There was a
Let's just
part
dial
of
it back to how my week went.
Go.
Yeah.
We'll be back with Polly talk though, because I might be interested in that.
I think I
nothing wrong
love
with
Because
it.
Asia, it sounds like Asia might want to be like that.
I really like it.
Really?
Because I love my privacy. I don't want to live. I don't think right now in my life I don't want to live with someone in commitment,
But-
that type of strained relationship.
But Polly
argument.
is still commitment though.
Yeah, poly is a commitment. So being polyamorous is a commitment. It doesn't mean like you want your space. It means that you're giving your love to multiple people at one time. And it's not more of who you share your time with or a division. It's more sharing time together. You definitely have to have, confidence and be strong in your security, knowing that you have this person and you're both sharing time. It's
How many husbands
sounds-
did you have?
anyway, so my week.
How was your week? No, because I
wait,
want that
trying
life,
to get
bitch.
me. Wait,
I
wait.
want
Trying
that
to get
life.
me.
We're doing too much, girls. We did not toast. We also didn't pray. But we're gonna toast for now.
Right. We'll pray for the
Well,
next
girl, you ain't have to tell
episode.
her. Y'all gonna tell her we didn't pray and we only gonna take the drink and not pray.
Right.
Yeesh. The devil
Messing
is
with the
alive.
girls, baby.
Okay. Okay. Then we gotta shout out
What
these.
black salt is that? They got some new stuff. What's going? Where's my
Okay.
salt?
What in the
Oh
what
my
in the
God.
Christmas? Oh no!
The Christmas.
They just set me up.
Is it good?
I have a green lip.
All right, ladies. Well,
Taste it.
here's to another episode. I love you, ladies, so much. To much continued success, to pursuing our dreams, and to our amazing rock-socking guests. Here's to you all.
Cheers. I said I wasn't gonna drink this.
Okay,
week.
you want to say the thing?
Big ships, little ships, friendships, something.
Something like that.
There's big ships, there's little
Little
ships,
ships.
but there's nothing like
This
this
friendship.
Yay!
Yay.
And you all who's watching.
Save the greenery next time, people. we
Thank you, bartender, for not putting that on my drink.
Yo, speaking of it, shout out to Julius McFly. We got the books. Memoirs of a Crafty Girl, baby. Some of us have been down that road. I can't wait to get into this.
It says Memoirs of a Crafty Girl.
I said Memoirs of a Crafty Girl. We will be
Awesome.
reading this, and we will come back and tell you what we think.
Are you going to teach me some crafty ways?
No,
It's a black author.
we've
We
outgrown
love
the crafty
black,
ways.
We love supporting black businesses.
Yes.
We love black authors.
Yes.
Shouts out to Copa Soaps. I went out to celebrate my friend Hassan the other day. We all got together. And they had like this vendor, and these people kept saying, Tabytha, Tabytha. That's the girl from Crazy Sexy Cool. He comes over, so he gave us all these soaps so we can actually try. I used mine already, so I'm gifting you with the ones that he sent me. Shouts to Copa Soap. Thank you for this soap. It is so good. All black everything. I love that.
Yes.
All right.
Shout out to that.
And going further, we will be doing promo packages. so if you want to promo,
We will.
we like free things and all, but you know, little packages we'll be selling.
Joey.
My week was freaking awesome. I was stressed out with finals. I still have one tomorrow, but I passed. I really was struggling with not getting the grade that I wanted. But if I was fair with myself, my work-life balance is all over the place. But I got a B+ on my finals, and I just signed my new lease,
Come
so
on.
I'm excited.
So happy for them.
So, you know,
Congratulations.
all
Shout
great
out to the
things
keys.
Okay,
Okay.
get the keys.
Get the
you
keys,
know.
baby.
So
Get the shoes,
my week
baby.
is great. You know, thank you, you ladies, for like putting up with me in my difficult times, like just going
Definitely
through
difficult.
studying. It's not that difficult. Don't do it. But thank you for putting up with me. After Monday, I'll be okay because then this semester is done for me, and I'm gonna enjoy
Yeah, because
my
she feels
fucking
like she's
summer.
busier than all of us.
Be outside. No, I'm just busy.
I'm busy. I'm busy. Bitch,
I'm
we
working.
busy too.
I'm working.
Don't she be feeling it? She be. I'm like, Tabitha, why do you didn't do? I'm busy, bitch. Okay, I am too.
It's hard.
And this is my only
like,
off day.
It's hard.
I'm
like,
here with you,
school is
bitches.
kicking my ass.
But I love y'all.
But we here every week. I do. I love y'all too.
Can't wait till we take a break.
Don't say that.
No,
Y'all gonna
mistake.
miss us if we
A
take
little
a break.
mistake. They come
Are y'all
mistake.
We
gonna miss
always
us?
take breaks. Don't do that.
We need a break though.
How are you, Tempress?
I'm good. I'm good. You know, bitch, just a few weeks ago, I was like, oh, I'm be bored. But now, bitch, I'm not. Bitch, every day I'm out the house. So, and this is my off day. And I'm here with you ladies. Love you. So, yeah. So, yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
You, what's up with you? You're dating. You said you were practicing.
Oh,
so
you
you've been
still
dating
gonna go
all
back
week.
to the
Well, we
poly
can go
stuff.
back to it.
You've been dating all week.
Yeah, I went on a couple of things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How
I'm
was
really
it?
like, huh?
How was it?
It's dope. It's
White
dope.
men, black men. What's giving?
Both of these were my type exactly. So my type was back in the day, kind of like tradie,
Hood-
thuggish,
hood dick.
kind of hood,
Hood dick.
hoodie. I'm gonna say that. on a hoodie.
Hood dick.
I'm gonna say that for
Can we say that?
That's a little bit too much for YouTube. So I'm gonna call them hoodie. I'm gonna say the hoodie.
Okay,
So,
yeah.
no,
say
but
hoodie.
it's like they pulled up really well, really nice, and we did really good things. And I just like the fact that I can do that. I like the fact that I did it with couple people, and it's just exploring. I'm not going to say I'm open to being a poly because I don't know. I'm just getting back out there. So for me, I just want to live and just see what happens. I may get in a relationship.
That's
I
the
may
one I
not.
was on the phone with when he was trying to get your number.
No, he's still in the
He's
the
baking.
making,
He's on the
connection.
friend list.
He's still he's cute though.
You like young or old?
You just got it around my age.
Okay.
I'm gonna say.
Ooh, girl, you know I want to ask you that question.
What?
Did you bust your tea?
No, I didn't tell him that yet. Just not his business.
I love that for you.
Not yet. We just chatting. And it might not even go
Why
there.
you look like that? I just want to know because that's always the conversation when you're dating. Do you tell them? Don't you tell them? You know, so
Just get that shit out the way, honey.
I usually do, but this situation, I don't really see it go anywhere, so I'm just having fun just conversing.
And again, I think like it's your choice when you want.
But y'all went out on a date already?
No, this is somebody I just met. I literally, I don't know why she brought him up, because I just met him last
No, I
night.
was just saying since you said you were dating.
I just met him last night.
No,
we was on the phone. We were on
Like,
the phone.
bitch,
on her body.
We
I
was on the
gagging.
phone, and he was bad. He was bad.
She was like, he's my name. She was melting. I was like, girl.
Yes, he take my number, and I was like,
Speaking of dating and shit, like, yo, like, the Diddy thing, the Diddy and Cassie video that dropped, oh my God. Like, that was so crazy. And it's so interesting that it happened around the same time that we're just coming off of a week where a couple of trans women, female figures in the scene, had a man put their hands on them as well. Like, that's so crazy. And it's so interesting to me because a lot of times, and especially now, you seeing these men like putting their hands on women. And it's the same thing that happens in the scene as well. Like, that is crazy. You know, just last week I talked about, well, I don't know which week it may have dropped. It don't always drop in order. But I talked about, you know, one of my traumas is seeing my dad put his hands on my mom. So I'm very triggered by seeing a man hit a woman. And to see that video was like, it made me flashback, you know, on things like that. And what do you think about, like, how women are treated in the scenes? Like, I mean, men putting their hands on women. Like,
I think it's absolutely disgusting, and it's quite disturbing how sometimes we don't really come together and say enough is enough. I'm really proud on the Philadelphia committee for standing together and making sure that that individual was held to the fire, regardless of what status they have, what title or anything that they have. I think that's important in our community to hold our leaders up to the same standards that we hold everyone else to. So I'm proud that they did that. But especially back onto the Diddy situation. I'm gonna just talk about that situation, particularly alone before I go into other things. That, for me, was bothering because I grew up to Diddy. I seen him as someone that, you know, was well established. I heard rumors, of course we all did, but I seen a black excellence when I seen him. He's a billionaire. These things that he was going through, I kind of was one of the people that were, why are they doing this to our black men? Like all of this. And then when I seen the video, how my stomach was turning. I was gagged completely. Because for you to kick someone while they're down and you know, like, it's just, to me, it was disgusting. It was absolutely freaking disgusting.
I really don't have any words. I think we all stand in agreement that shit was just unnecessary, uncalled for. Man, keep your hands off of us. We do not deserve to be abused in that way. As a survivor of domestic violence, pre-marriage, I know how tough that can be. I know what it is to be in fear and to know that this man is stronger than you and he has the potential to hurt you. And out of fear, you react. And sometimes, like, you could hurt them too. Like, because I swear to God, if he'd have did that to me, bitch, he'd have been butt naked in that hallway. We'd have been tearing it. Because you're not going to kick me down and ding stomp me. And he knocked her like it was so fierce. But what's questioning to me is how did the hell the hotel hold on to that information for so long without releasing it to the public?
I don't think
power.
Yeah, money, power, and respect. Like, I think that had to do with the situation. That happens at a lot of upscale hotels. like they can recover footage easily.
What
And
about
even
this
the truth
apology video that he made? Like, bitch, I'm like, you could have kept
Not
that.
interested. I didn't even see it. Once they say he had the video, I was like, child, please. Like,
'Cause why you
there's
didn't do
not
that
enough
before?
apology that's going to erase the
that
harm
was in
that you caused.
2016, and you knew
Yeah,
when
like-
they raided your house, you knew that they had that footage. That's number one. So you could have cleared your name up then. Now it's showing me how dark you actually are because you're only worried about your career. That's why you put the video up.
Not
Like,
even
show
clear.
us, like, actually disappear from social media and go get help. That would actually, like, disappear. Go get help. You don't need any more money. You don't need any more accomplishments right now. Focus on what you do need, mental health. Because you have sons, you have daughters that you need to raise, and you need to break that cycle. So all that video actually disturbed me even more.
I'm wondering what the kids really know too, because if he did that to her, they said it was even worse to Kim. Like, so
And that was
I wanted to
another
have the kids
topic.
experience that.
That was another topic that someone had brought up to me. Shouts to Kay when she was like, is everyone upset because she's a fair-skinned woman? If she was a black woman, would we have the same rage?
Because it happens to black women all the time. I mean, it happens to women, period, all the time. And I do think that, like, black women, a lot of times it is overlooked. Like, it's not, it's kind of brushed over when it does happen.
It's
to
kind of
black
like the
women.
black angry
Yeah.
woman syndrome.
Yeah,
She
like
deserved
what
it.
did she do?
Right.
Like, it's like the darker you are, the stronger
You're
you're
supposed
looked
to
at.
be.
Like you're supposed to. They the stigma that comes with it, and like the lighter you are, sometimes it's like the more frail. Like it's like, oh wow, I can't believe this happened. Which that it should be that same sentiment across the board.
Yeah. I just hate that we have to get to that point when things happen. Why does that happen to them, not us? Like, why don't we get that same support? Sometimes, why does that conversation have to come to the table?
What?
Oh, is it like that because she's fair-skinned? No, it happens because it was wrong.
No, I'm just saying that someone had brought it up to me, and I was thinking that for me, no woman should be hit, no matter
it
what
shouldn't
color
matter
you
what
are.
exactly.
But for me, it's just distasteful. Men, young kings, don't be like Diddy.
Yeah, it's like, come on, like.
Don't do it. Like, I understand that, sometimes it's hard to communicate when you're angry and you're frustrated, but there are so many ways to unlearn being physical when you're unable to articulate your words. And communication is clear, but as they said, he was already previously intoxicated in the room. So it started in the room before it even came.
Who
Oh,
knows
he
what happened?
woke
Because she
up.
ran
He
out with
woke
nothing
up.
on her feet,
No,
bitch.
it was a
So she was trying to get out.
She packed her bags. He was either asleep or just getting out the shower. They say, and on the transcript, it said he just woke up out of the sleep and he saw her going out the door and he chased her. So that was him on sober.
Jesus.
If that's the case, I don't know.
Yeah, we
this
don't know
allegedly,
exactly
I
what
don't
happened.
know exactly how it
Allegedly.
happened.
All of it is
Allegedly, I'm only gonna
allegedly.
really talk about as far as the video. It was disgusting. It was disturbing, and I just honestly, I actually send love for their kids, and I send love to Cassie because watching that video again and seeing that you're reliving that moment again and again. This is on the news right now. This is on social media all over. It's disturbing.
The violence that we have to experience as women is just uncalled for. And there's no
So
way
speaking
of
of-
justifying
I'm
that.
sorry, I'm so
There's no
sorry.
way of justifying that.
Yeah.
Especially like when we talk about in the scene.
Yeah.
Like when the guys are attacking the femme queens and then it's like swept under the rug. And then we start to have this conversation about her being her former self or all these
Yeah, that's
justifications
the
that
word.
they
They do.
use.
That means they
to
be looking at them like,
But when I said that, when I said that last season, y'all looked at me and was just like, I know it was hard for me to say it. It's kind of like, damn, you just blatantly said they look at us as men. I just said, yeah, because they look at us as men. And we all looked and was like, wait, really? And I'm not saying that that's how y'all friends treat you guys. I'm saying just in general, I was seeing a lot of people on our scene still don't respect us as who we show up today.
and like, yo, what about the fight? Like, this was a fight, even though she was doing her big one on that Butch Queen. I won't say 80 days, but she was wearing you. You was only pulling her hair. But all the Butch Queens that was around, why nobody? If I'm around Butch Queens
Yeah, it's
that
all
are with
right.
me, and I'm fighting a butch queen, and bitch, you only trying to pull me away from him, bitch, and you don't get a knock in, just cancel the friendship.
Yeah.
Bitch,
It's
cancel
over.
it. You better knock if you buck, bitch.
That's
Bitch,
it.
if I
You just
got
gonna cancel it. I'm gonna whoop their ass
Bitch.
too for being there, bitch. You gotta fight too. You gotta get you a piece. See, that's what I'm saying. I'm a different type of girl, bitch. Like, you're not gonna hit me. I don't give a fuck. Y'all don't have to jump in. I'm gonna do my big one. And after, if your ass sat there and you didn't do anything, oh, we fighting.
See, I don't want to fight because I got a no
Oh,
job.
I'm not.
See,
that's the thing. That's the thing. The
I
girls
know
be scared
job.
of something shift, bitch. I'll go right back. Medicaid,
No,
Medicaid,
bitch, fuck all
Medicaid.
that. But what about, so the question was brought up, and I remember we started talking about it. I'm like, no, let's not talk about it. Let's talk about it on the show. What about if the girl hits first? I believe, bitch, if you hit first, if you
Bitch,
big
you
enough
gotta
to
get
hit
that ass
first,
with
bitch, you
it.
big enough to hit back. Like,
But
if
I
you hit
totally
somebody,
agree with that.
bitch,
I told you that.
don't hit nobody if you don't expect to get hit back.
I told you that. I think that, it's unfortunate, but sometimes the woman can also like be the aggressor in the situation and feel as though like it was. I'm trying to remember the thing when she was like, "Yeah, hit me, motherfucker, hit me." And then when he hit you, like, "Oh my God, you hit me!" You know what I'm saying?
That's me.
But
Hit me. Oh my God, I can't believe you hit me. That's definitely me.
yeah, but my thing is, I just feel as though at no point in any type of friendship, relationship, however, there should never come to a point of violence within our own community. We have so much to fight outside of community. The last thing we need to do is to fear our own kings who are supposed to protect us. That's the last thing that we should have to ever worry about.
Everybody ain't a king.
Ooh.
How you doing?
That's very true. I think a lot of times people make an excuse of how did y'all get there? What happened to men being gentlemen where we not even getting like that? Like, I'm not arguing. The reason I'm not arguing with a man anyway. I have brothers for that. And I put myself in that type of line because I don't want to have to, like, if we fight, if I hit you first, he has the right to hit me back.
Y'all gonna hate me for this statement?
I think that is true, but I definitely think that we should not be even in that type of crossfire anyway. Like, it shouldn't be about to go down anyway.
So y'all gonna be mad. But what happened to men being men? But on the other side, what happened to women being women?
What does
Like,
that mean?
What is that? What is both
So
of
at
those?
the end of the day,
being a
like
lady?
when you say
You said
like,
being a lady?
here's the thing, right? You're saying that men, like what happened to men being men, and my thing, sometimes the girls.
I
could get a
said
little,
being gentlemen. That was what I said.
well, being gentlemen, but sometimes the girls could get a little aggressive and mixy with the dudes. I've seen it. I've seen it. So what do we do when our women are doing that? Like, how
I
do we
hold them
pull
to the
our
same
sisters
standard.
up and say, girl, like, chill out. Like, you
Yeah,
shouldn't-
I think that's
you know
wrong
what I'm
too.
saying? Because I've done that. When I'm with my friends and she getting a little, I'll be like, Mama, don't do that.
Yeah.
Because if they come over here, then we all got to fight. So just relax.
I think it's the same across the board. I think you should be able to talk with your words. Like, I don't think that you should put your hands on nobody. You ain't nobody a child, honey. And even, I don't even like for parents to hit their kids. So, like, at the end of the day, like, I just think that, like, bitch, that just says something more about you and how you know, how
But if
you
we're
control
being
yourself.
honest, it took a lot of growth for us to get there because I used to want to tear it.
I never
And
just
you
wanted
also
to
have
just
some-
go
you
and hit
also have some
somebody.
you also have females that are like that. Like, there are females, just women in general that don't mind bucking up on anybody.
At all.
That's what I consider being cunt, the hood, the ghetto chick. Like, they don't mind
didn't
being
care.
in that
I
type
talk
of.
my shit, but bitch, I'm like bitch, I gotta fight you for a thing. Like,
No,
like,
Because
fighting.
sometimes you just gotta let them up. No.
Well, how did you guys feel seeing that video of an icon putting his hands on a girl, or just on anybody?
Why do
I
like
was
why
so
forget the icon?
No,
The
icon.
status.
That's the question I have.
Okay, well, we're
The
gonna say
question
that. My
I
thing
have.
is nobody in the scene, like no dude
I
should
was
be
so
hitting no girl.
disappointed.
I'm
Like,
saying that question.
And then they said the
specifically
boyfriend jumped
because this is
in
a-
and
hit her
this is a
too.
title.
see, back in
They
the day,
said like somebody else, another boy jumped in and hit her too. Like, that is crazy.
shouts to Los when he was here back in the day. You could not
Yeah, you
do
couldn't.
that.
No, you couldn't.
You
honey.
could not roll up on the girl.
Shout out to my
You could
brother
not
Tigger.
do
A
that
sleep in peace. I love you, brother. He did not play about me.
at
Yeah,
all.
I had a few brothers that bitch. It's
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
still.
I'm sorry.
I have
Have
a
a few.
few.
Yeah. But speaking of that, like, I think we should bring our guests in and hear their point of view as far as that,
And we also
because
have some good questions for them. But before we go there, I have some questions to ask my ladies.
Who, to
Oh,
ask
you
us?
pulled out, you digging?
Yeah.
Yeah, she go with
digging
them
in the
questions,
stash,
bitch.
digging in the
Oh
stash.
gosh, she's
Yeah, no, I love to ask certain questions and come with the ladies with
And
some
she
cute
brought her
little
phone
This is
out.
for us or for?
That's for you, girl.
Oh shit.
Oh,
Here she
shit, we should have
So is
started
this a
with
new
that.
thing?
How do you guys feel about being showing public affection in front of your children?
Oh,
Yeah, so I seen there's a guy going viral right now. There's a gay guy going viral right now, and he made the comment that, and people are trying to say it's self-hate, that he doesn't show any affection to his lover in front of his son because he doesn't want his son to run up to another little boy and go kiss him in the mouth and think that it's okay. And I agree with that. I mean, I'm not into I'm not into PDA anyway. I mean, like in front of kids, I didn't want to see my mother and father slobbing, kissing each other and shit. Like I didn't want to see all that. You know, y'all can give a hug or something like that, but my mother closed her door and that was fine. Like I don't need to see all of that. Love is different, hugs, you know, something like that. But all that kissing and stuff in front of kids, like no, I don't think that that's self-hate. I'm like, no, they're too young for that.
I think you should show
see that.
love in front of everybody because that's what the world needs. I think that we
Love
think
is
like
different
that.
from kissing in the mouth and stuff.
That's showing love. That's love. That could be their love language.
Yikes.
But I think we have to
did you
stop.
say yikes?
No, but I think that has to do
Yikes.
with the fact that a lot of people in the community hate themselves and they hate themselves, so they don't want to show what they really feel about their lover because they're disgusted. So when they see other people around them show that affection, it's a problem because it wasn't a problem if when your daughter was going to see a boy and she kissed him when he was you thought it was cute.
That
Let's
was
actually
still
get
a
a
problem.
picture. It really wasn't. We took a picture, but he made a viral video about it. It's because he wants to seem inviting for the heteronorm conversations.
You think
and those
so?
types, of course.
Did you chew that?
No,
how-
because those type of people I consider weird. Those are the same people that say, I'm not ever going to, a gay man say, I will never marry a man. Like, do you not?
But he
see-
didn't say that. He just said that he doesn't show his man like kissing and stuff in front of his
Because
son.
did you see the rest of that's not just what he said. He went in. He actually said he was saying it's disgusting. We should not be doing that in front of kids because they can go do that. No, you should teach your kids not to kiss anybody. That's your child. You should take care of your child as a responsibility not to go have sex with anybody because you're a grown adult. So if your child sees you kissing a woman, he might be available for anyone to come kissing him as an adult. We have to put rules.
I don't think it's a gay thing. I
called
think it's
roles.
across the board. How do you feel, Tabby?
I can see both of y'all point of view. I just think that it's a real touchy situation for me. I grew up seeing PDA in my family, like my family, like my grandmother and my grandfather would hug and kiss like in front of us, not like tonguing each other down, but it was a hug and a kiss. Like I don't think like a tap kiss is wrong. I think that you should be able to teach your kids about what public displays of affection looks like. I think that you should train them to not just run out and want to kiss somebody. You know, first of all, consent is always important. You just don't run out and kiss anyone. So I think the language he used was like a little bit of self-harm.
Trauma.
You know what I'm saying? But I also understand that you just can't be doing anything in front of kids because kids have the potential to mimic what they see.
They do.
And then they go to school and they do that. Like the little kid who goes and now he's filling up on the girl because he saw daddy doing that to mommy. He like her and that's how he communicates because he saw daddy do it. Now her mother, she goes home and tell her mother, she come to school and now she want answers to why this little boy touching her girl. These things happen. So we have it's a very fine line on what you should do in front of your kids. And I think everyone reserves the right to how they want to raise their kids. I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong. I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong. I'm just saying it's a conversation that needs to be had. And there's no rule book to this shit.
Not at all. But I'm talking on the surface as far as the point. And I think that sometimes when I see people say the things he was saying in the video, it's disturbing for me because I think you should be happy who you are. And I'm not saying that he
So
isn't.
you think he was appealing to
But
the
happy, just
heteronormative-
happy who you
I
just a
are.
are.
conversation. No, because of what he was saying with the video. Like
Okay.
he wasn't just saying, "Oh, I don't want to kiss in front of because I think it's disgusting." No, I don't think nothing is wrong with showing affection in front of your kids. Just like on a wedding day, if you're at a wedding and I'm 4 years old and I'm seeing my two fathers kiss, like what's wrong with that?
That means you waited to an adult to celebrate
I'm 4 years old. If I'm 4 years old at my father's wedding and he's kissing a man, is that disgusting?
You got to know you got to have this ceremony first.
Love is love.
Love is love.
Any more damn questions, Asia?
No, that's it.
We will be right back for our very, very special guest. When I tell you
Whoa.
Go ahead, take
when I tell you faces up in the place.
Moggy Sadie.
It's giving mug.
This week, Femme Queen Appreciation goes to the iconic Miss Bugala Cunt, Deja, La Perla, Jordan, Chanel, Mizrahi, and St. Clair. You have paved the way for girls like myself, inspired us to do our big one. Thank you for giving us your story. We love you so much. Sleep in peace, beautiful.
Our Femme Queen of the Week is the icon, Christina Tsunami. Her unique performance has inspired so many throughout the years. She is one who definitely stays true to herself. Her precisions, her dance, her performance, her sexiness, all the things. We love you, my Cancer sister, and everything that you have poured in this community, and we just want to give it to you back. Our next guest is an icon in the scene. When you think of face, you cannot think of woman's face without thinking of Jaime Balenciaga. She has entered the producer realm where she has a new documentary out, and she is also an author, Life as a Queen. No point intended. Come out, Miss Jaime, and give us that mug, baby. Congratulations. Thank you. Yes, we love black owned.
Yes, black owned.
We love
so
black
it's
owned.
Congratulations on your podcast and all that.
Thank you, sis.
Absolutely.
Y'all don't know me and Jerry go way back.
Way back.
We go way back. And our next guest, baby, she has hit the scene. And when you think about Mug, the newer generation, she is dominating. She comes from the Kiki scene as well as she has turned out the scene. When you talk about face, woman's face, you can't talk about it. We're speaking of Purp West. And baby, she also is rapping now. Give us some bars, baby.
Hey, let's go, Wes.
Let's go, West. What's up, y'all?
What's going on?
Thank you for having me.
Yes. So happy to be here.
Thank you. Well, let's get this shit
Let's
started.
get started.
Bring it on.
Okay, we get into some things.
We're gonna get into some things. I know y'all was probably already watching out there and y'all was getting some of the conversation, but go ahead. Let's kick it off.
So what do you guys think about the topic that we were talking about with violence against women in the community and just in general?
I feel like I've been a witness to seeing domestic violence like within my own family, so I definitely was a little triggered by those, videos. It was a lot.
Yeah.
It was too much.
Yeah.
A lot to unpack.
It is.
A lot. As a person that has been in abusive relationships from 16 to about 30, men and women, the video was very triggering. It's a good thing I have a good therapist and I do mushrooms because I've put in the work. I've put in the work to heal and stuff. So it was difficult to watch. And being in the scene since '95, I've witnessed quite a lot of violence. Back then it was okay. When we didn't win, trophies were flown across the room, tables were flipped, the Ebonies were known for violence. So violence has been like an intricate part of Ballroom for so long. And it's a lot to unpack because it's something that we really haven't digested or talked about at all.
Yeah.
And I know when we were speaking on this side, you also reminded me that you were on the panel when the panel got maced in Atlanta.
Yes.
What was not to, make you relive that situation, but how traumatizing was that for you?
Oh, I mean, we didn't realize what happened until it happened. So I gagged because it was like all of a sudden you feel it burning, and then everybody looked at each other at the same time like, holy shit, did we just get maced? So it was just chaos, and it was difficult. Fortunately, one of my house members just happened to be standing at the door when I left out, and she rushed me to, we went to a convenience store, and she poured milk on my arms because, I don't know if you guys know, like with mace, like it could give you whelps and stuff. Like I have photos of like my arms, and it was tough. And thank God, Vinny was like convinced me to, go to the police station, because he went to the police station and filed a report. So
Shout out to OA.
yeah, but yeah, it was a lot. It was chaos.
So what do you think about the violence from men against the women in ballroom and trans women?
How much time do we have?
We got a whole day.
I mean, the scene is very misogynistic, and I feel like it's towards cis women and trans women. Like I heard you mention that back in the day you guys were protected, and you were. And I feel like it's changed so much, and a lot of people don't respect the older generation or the older ways of ballroom. And at the end of the day, too, it's interesting because I think a lot of butch queens have issues with women. And I don't want to say this to sound, like bitchy or like, I don't know the word for it. But I think a lot of butch queens in the scene, too, like it could be a jealousy thing. It could be, they have issues with themselves, like you mentioned, Asia, that they don't love themselves. And it's interesting because butch queens, like, they'll sleep with each other's partner and they're like the next day at the club together. But when it comes to us women, it's like, oh no, she's shunned. Like, you're blacklisted. There's things that happened to me where I've been, haven't been called out for LSS because I got into an argument with Jack back in the day, and it's like, but some of you guys like sleep with each other's man, and then it's like, I see you guys in the club next week. So what is that? Yeah. Like, why is it women that, you guys have an issue with?
Speaking of that, so let's go back.
Can we go into that though? Like, I want to dig into that. Like, that's something that, because we have all women on this platform, and I think that's a conversation that's needed. What do you guys think about what she just said?
Yes, I was going to ask her because she has a specific experience with that example.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember specific situations, but I do know that there was a time that you actually had like a problem because have you dated butch queens or?
No, I mean, like fooled around, but
fooled
not,
around.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
you
yeah.
so
I'm very pan.
so she's fan. Like, I'm pan too, and nothing gets pan. And we used to turn the straight scene out.
Oh my gosh.
So you've had like issues with, particular males in the scene where you may have messed around with someone or something, and it became like an issue. Like they tried to, would you say, like blackball you at one point?
Well,
or like just
I mean,
pure hate towards you.
Well, to go back, this was during the time of Walk For Me Wednesdays when we were online in the chat rooms, and everybody knows my mouth. Like, I'm not afraid to say anything. Like, I don't hold my tongue. I don't bite my tongue for anybody. And I remember the year was like Baby. We were Jordans, and she didn't get nominated or something. It was something over the awards ball. And I called Jack out in the chat room. And we never discussed it. And from that point on, like, he didn't call me out for LSS for like a good year or two. But then when we finally talked about it, and which is interesting is because I've had situations with people in the scene where it takes years for us to talk about it. And then he was upset because I didn't just come to him. He was like, hey, I thought we were cool. You could have just came to me and said how you felt instead of putting it public in this chat room. But again, it was back Walk For Me Wednesdays. I was young, I was shady. I didn't give a fuck back then.
Right. So I remember back then you was a little more. Now you're soft.
Say it, sis.
She was a little like more
aggressive.
bushy, like aggressive. Yeah,
I was.
I remember before we started hanging, she was a little more aggressive.
Yeah,
because
I was a tomboy. Yeah,
she was getting ready to now she's soft girl era.
Yeah.
What made that change come about? Like,
I just got in touch with my womanhood. Like I grew up in the '90s, so we were baggy clothes, Timbs, the sneakers. And when I got with D, who brought me to the scene, I think when I started coming to balls, I was like, oh, wow, like, I could put on a dress, like, I could dress up. And I grew up watching Red Carpet, watching Dynasty and all these things with my mom. So I knew what it was to be glam and fabulous. It was never pulled out of me. So Ballroom did that.
Yeah.
Ballroom does help. There's pros and there's cons, but
Oh,
there's a lot of
absolutely.
pros.
Absolutely.
So you use the word cis women and trans women. That's always been like a healthy conversation that everyone is always asking, like, how do you feel about the word cis?
I don't feel any like way about it. I feel like it's just a way to identify like who we are as women.
Okay.
How about you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any issues with it. I mean, it's a term to, again, it's a marker to identify, you know, what that is. But again, it's like, what are labels, you know, like, and I don't know. And again, I'm different. I'm cut from a different cloth. And like a lot of women in the scene have the issue with the word fish, where I don't have a problem with that. You know, like,
Same.
yeah, I don't have an issue. But there are women in the scene that are like, don't call me that.
In
like,
the scene, in the
Oh
like in the
yeah.
Ballroom scene,
Like
wow.
so Purp can attest, like, so we have a Facebook group. There's 165 cis women in this group from all across the world.
Yeah.
Love that.
And you know,
Love
there's
that.
discussions that have been had, like, and it's interesting because some women are really like, nah, don't call me that. And it's been a discussion.
So, I mean, we talk about taking away from culture, like, you know, we talk about progression versus authenticity, you know. So when you have people like cis women who come in the scene who are offended by things that was already happening in the scene, what kind of stance do you guys take? Then that, you know, do you educate them on this, or you allow them to have those type of feelings? Like, what's your stance on those discussions when those women are saying, I don't want to be called fish and all of that?
Well, I'll let Purp answer that because she's a younger generation. So like she's dealing with the Kiki scene where I think it's,
Yeah, it's a lot for them. I feel like when I came into the scene, I feel like I came in a weird era where it wasn't really a lot of us like walking and storming. So I felt like I was always battling a femme queen, or I had to battle a butch queen. You know, I didn't really get a chance to dance with the woman until I feel like more women started coming, and then now I'm getting a chance to play and have fun and, you know, see who's coming out next. I think for me, I try to educate as much as I can on what I know and what I think is appropriate. And, you know, I tell them, like, this is the culture. And you have to not accept it, but, you know, you have to understand what you're coming into as well. And I think a lot of girls, and this is no shade to them, but they see things on TV and then they actually get up in and they're like, oh, wait, like, this is not what it's supposed to be. And it's like, no, it is.
Speaking of which, like, being young in the scene, how did you get introduced to the scene? Because I know you mentioned your friend brought you, but how did you get?
So my mom and my godfather is gay. He's like, I want to say thug, like a thug realness kind of butch queen. So he knew all the girls, Marsan, you know, all the Milans. Like, he was really cool with them. And he would always come to my house and show my mom, you know, clips from a ball online. And I used to be like, oh, I want to go. And I was young. And he used to be like, no. I was like, please, I want to go. And then he broke down. And he was like, all right, when you turn 16, I got you. My first ball was latex. And this is when y'all used to have it at that big venue with the black walls. Yes.
What was that called?
Roseland?
Roseland.
Yes. So I went to
Gotta
that
get a clip at
one.
Roseland.
And I fell in love from that day on. And I was just like, I just kept going. And not even thinking like to be a part of it, but I just used to love going because it was like somebody all the time used to stop me and just to be like, you're so pretty, you're so beautiful. And I used to be like, thank you. And mind you, I had braces at the time when I was going to ball. So I used to hear that and I used to feel it.
Shout out to your mom, because I met your mom. We talked
Yes.
about her
She
before.
loves you. She loves all of y'all.
You guys met her. So shout out to Purp's mom.
Yeah,
We
shout
love
out
you.
Shout out to all the parents that support their children.
Yes.
I mean, their adults, their kids in the scene. It's nice. It's nice.
Yeah.
And so you were introduced by a gay male Do you consider yourself queer, or are you?
I mean, I
hetero
consider
or
myself
straight?
straight with, a little fun here and there, dibble and dabble.
So,
It's like whatever I like at that moment. And if that's what it is, that's what it is.
and it's so interesting. Women can say that, but men can't say. It's like a double standard. Like,
It is.
Oh,
if
it
a
really
man
is.
when a man sits on the couch and say, "Oh, I play," they like, "No, you're gay."
Yeah.
When women, it's like, "Oh, I can play. I can do such and such."
Yeah.
So, are y'all like that? I mean, would you date a bisexual man?
I probably would. There would have to be a lot of conversation and communication around it. I'm an overthinker, so I need to date someone that communicates a lot. So, and I'm inquisitive, so I want to know like what is that attracts you, whether it's man or woman. Right. I've been in an open relationship before, and I'm down to be in an open relationship, but I just need communication. Like, what attracts you to that person? Because I'm curious.
Like Tab used to do?
Why you keep throwing me out there?
So
like
I've
that?
never been in a poly relationship, but I would totally be down to try it.
I figured Jamie might.
So
Yeah.
here's the thing. I'm married.
It was years ago.
Okay,
It was
years
years ago.
ago.
It was while she's married to this person, but it was years ago.
No, oh my
Tab,
God.
we can take that out if you don't want to talk about that.
No, we could talk about it. I mean, I think
No, we've talked about it before.
No, I think like being polyamorous is just knowing that my experience. So I can't speak for everyone's experience. I experienced it. I wanted my husband to have what he wanted when he needed, right? And I once believed that it is unfair to think that one person could fulfill one person's need for the rest of their life. And I really subscribed to it. I was like, there's no way. I can't meet all his needs and have my own dreams, because then I'm not living out my purpose, because I'm trying to make sure that his needs are met.
So
when
you
I have
think
my
you
own
went into
needs.
poly because of insecurity?
It wasn't so much of insecurity. I ended up liking someone else. He was also attracted to someone else. And I come from an era where, bitch, I'd rather you tell me than to cheat on me, because I don't want to hear it from the street.
Right.
I want you
That's
to
why I
tell
would
me.
want to do it.
So, and her name was Dominique, just like the weirdest shit, right? And she was
Did
really,
y'all sleep in the bed together?
yes, we did.
Okay, we're going to come back to that. We're good. We need a whole show on that. But
Yes.
would you date a bisexual man or someone who dates a trans woman?
Trans woman, yes, but another man, I don't know. I'm still like iffy with that.
Okay.
Wait, whoa.
So you've never been with a butch queen, like a gay male?
I've been with a butch queen.
Oh,
but like
so-
having fun, but
Have
not
you
like
dated a trans woman?
No.
Oh, I thought you said.
No,
No, I said,
no, she
would
was
she
asking-
date someone who dates a trans woman,
Yeah,
who's
like,
dated a
that's
trans
okay.
woman, or someone who's bisexual?
That's one I haven't, and I'm totally down to date a trans woman.
I was getting ready to ask.
I'm totally down to date a trans
You
woman.
heard it here. Jamie's open
I think
to
that
the
would
trans
be
woman
so much
experience.
fun.
Really?
Well, because I dated a trans man before, 2, well 3 actually, and that it was fun. It was like don't get me wrong. Of course, there's ups and downs. However, just being in that element of freedom, like especially sexually. Because again, I'm inquisitive. I want to try all different types of things. So
That's for you.
I think it would be kind of cool. I tried to get with Amaya, but
Ooh.
Shout out to Maya.
yeah. I mean, that's how I call her wifey. That's how that came about, because I was honestly seriously hitting on her.
That's a fab girl.
I want to ask you both a question. Do you guys think that trans women and cis women should battle at balls?
Yes.
Why?
I want you a piece.
Right. I mean, I feel like when I came into the scene, I knew who was the best. I knew who was the girl to be. I knew who was the girl you wanted to be. And I'm like, how can I get there if I'm just battling women? Like, I wanted the girls that just comes out and does their thing.
That inspired you?
Yeah.
I like that.
I'm on the fence.
Girl, we battled and stuff.
I mean, well, so this is the thing. Well, that's the thing, is that like I kind of was forced to. You know what I mean? Like, so the first person, believe it or not, that the first femme queen I battled was Raquel, and we end up being in the same house, which is interesting. But it's I feel like now, I feel like back then, I can kind of get what Purp's saying. Like, you want to make a name for yourself. But back then, like, there were so many women walking, and then it kind of faded out. So I get how they started clumping the categories together. However, I feel now that there's so many women walking again, I feel like it's not necessarily necessary, if that makes sense. I mean, I'm not against it, but I'm not for it either.
I'm in the same.
Yeah.
I'm the same. I feel that it's so. I think we get clumped together to be able to, because I think you can be able to make a force to be reckoned with. Like say if a cis woman is watching the category, she gets to see, hey, I want to battle Purp when I come to the scene. She don't have to say, I want to battle Tempress.
Right.
There's now also Purp, and even though there was Jaime, there was numerous, but I think there should be more than just trans women well, Butch Queen categories. There's only there's about 1 million Butch Queen categories, and they throw us a couple.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And
do
then,
you think that's why you're, because I know you're like an integral part of the woman scene. Like you carry on the legacy of whoever, pioneered the scene outside of Ballroom. I've been to some of your balls where it's like women and trans men and so on. Is that why you try to carry that on?
oh, absolutely. So it originally started as the women's scene, and then Shady asked, he was like, hey, there's, these balls in Virginia, they're all women. So we went and checked it out, and I was like, holy shit. I mean, it was like, had to be like 250 people in there, and they were all women and butches. And at the time too, it was like a few people transitioning, trans men. And so we rolled with it, and it died down for a while just because we all had differences. And then I realized, like, what do I want my legacy to be? And again, just going back to the clumped up categories, we don't have a space to show our skills, to show our talent. So I was like, okay, so me and Sean decided we're gonna bring it back. Sean and I did the first one in Atlanta a couple years ago, and people have just flocked to it now. Because again, women, trans men, they feel slighted. Now you have non-binary and all these other different elements where femme aggressive, where we used to have femme aggressive, which is, I guess like a cis woman that kind of dresses aggressive but still has a feminine face, or like, almost like androgynous. So it's like there's all these different layers that we all have, and Ballroom's supposed to be inclusive. So why aren't we showcasing everybody?
So with that being said, like, I know that there's always like this level of hierarchy that exists within the scene, within the women's scene. Like, do you feel like there's, and I'm gonna ask you this as a younger woman in the scene.
WBTC. WBTC. Women Butch Trans Men.
Oh, women.
Well, I'm sorry, because the trans men get offensive when we say women's scene. It's always a thing.
Okay, well, WBTC.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in the WBTC, when you were like, do you feel like there's a hierarchy, like some who hold power and won't allow like new ideas, an opportunity for you to excel in that category or excel in the WBTC scene? You.
Oh, yeah. So no, I feel like Jaime was always somebody that I was inspired by, because I felt like she always fought for us. She always advocated for us. And I felt like when I came into the scene, like, that's what I wanted to do for my generation. Like, always make sure, like, even if I'm taking the hit, like, I'm voicing what needs to be said.
And how are you? And do you think it's like your responsibility to create space for other women to lift their voices as well?
Of course, because a lot of them feel like they don't have it sometimes.
That's dope. Like they
Yeah.
pitted us, like, so with the girls, a lot of times, like with the trans women in the scene, a lot of times we feel like, there can only be one, or for a long time there was an era like that, and so the girls were against each other. Do you feel like that with y'all, or do y'all embrace each other more? Do you feel like the women embrace each other more? Or is there shade like it is with the femme queens?
Well,
I seen you get a little shade. I seen a little shade with you.
so I will say this. I can say I didn't have that coming out. I came up, again, late 90s into 2000, where the Butch Queens kind of like, you have to have a rival. Like, you can't, like you can't be friends with this face, you know, like that's your rival, like this is who you're battling against. But I do appreciate like Purp and Janae and Lee Rose, like all of them, they have a friendship. You know, they all hang out, they talk to each other. We didn't have that. So I love, you know, I'm sure I don't know the intricates of like who maybe is their rival or who they have shade with, but from the outside looking in, it's great because I'm like, damn, I wish I would have had that. You know, I had my sisters, like I had my trans sisters, that's who I came out with and I hung out with, and I love that. I love that I had that experience. However, it's nice to see that the cis women now are kind of huddled together. They go bowling or they do certain things, and it's cool to see. It's really cool to see.
It's so I'm taking a lot that you both said, and even some stuff that you said, meaning pertaining ballroom, and for younger girls to see, because if they watch this and they get to hear the conversations with us, I feel it's so sad that we can't, being as 2024, we can't come together and make it really inclusive. I think we have the opportunity. We have the money to do it. I don't understand why is it not happening. Why do we have to separate for you guys to feel welcome, to feel seen? And even for us, it's so funny. We just can't get together. I think trans women, sometimes we just can't get together and just say, hey, let's go do our own thing too. Because I think we should have been walked away, because even you said there was always one femme queen. You always knew there was just her time, and then it was her time, but it was about 4 or 5 different men.
Right.
But each category excelling. And I just don't like why is that? Why is that?
I am working on somebody that I can't talk about yet, but we are working on something dedicated to all the women in the scene. Okay. And I agree with you. Like, I don't think people realize how powerful women are. Like, regardless, outside of the ballroom scene, inside of the ballroom scene, and it's almost like, okay, why aren't we just getting together and overthrowing the king? No. You know what I mean? But no, seriously, like I totally agree with you. Like, why haven't we done that? And like maybe this is the pivotal moment that it is.
Time.
Yeah.
Question: what would that look like?
Let's not give that away. Let's keep that to
No,
ourselves.
honestly, like, what would that look like?
I mean, honestly.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's a matter of kicking anybody out, or again, like even with the woman butch and trans man balls, like I still have butch queen categories. I still have femme queen categories. I still have butch queen and drag categories, because I never want anybody to feel left out. You know, it's always a thing of being inclusive. However, there can be balls or situations where it is dominant female figure.
Yes.
Why not?
Why not? Yeah, I get it.
And then just have 3 or 4 hot butch queen categories that's hot at the time. Have it cash. They're still gonna come out. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that kind of situation, and I hate to put it out there like that, but that's what it has to come to sometimes.
Back in my day, like, they used to go to the balls to see the girls.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
I used to go to balls.
But you know, I was
yeah.
looking at it in a way of like, even when I listened to music back in the day, I noticed how men really loved women. They loved, even gay men, they loved women more. And the music I hear now, it seems like they hate women. It's like the lyrics that you hear. But it's saddening to me, because I feel like we can come together and make some great history moments, I feel like. But maybe it's time for us to,
Get out there.
yeah,
I think this is, listen, no, I mean, I think this is great. I think, like, even us being here, right? Yeah. Most people think that we won't be able to have conversations because, oh, she can't take the women and the woman can't take the trans women. I've even heard girls say, I don't mess with cis women because they can't take it. There's always this narrative of them not liking the girl because the girl either sleeps with their men or their men are attracted to them. What are your thoughts around those type of conversations?
I mean, I think it's important to have, because I don't think, well, for me, I've never experienced those things. I feel like when I came into Ballroom, I felt like I was accepted and I was loved. I felt like even if there was times where I felt like I didn't belong, there was always somebody in that crowd that made me feel like I'm supposed to be here too. So it depends.
and that's what it's about.
I don't know. I had a different experience. You know, like I've had that experience around cis women where, you know, when I was when I first came out, Dee used to bring her cousins to the ball. And, you know, to call myself out too, when I first came out, I didn't understand it. You know, I didn't understand like what it was like a transsexual woman. Like I didn't grasp the concept of what, you know, so even when some of the guys would come to the ball, I'd be like, oh, you know, that's a man, you know? And yeah. And I mean, I could be honest with myself. Like, I didn't know. Like, I was 20 years old, 19 going on 20. And, you know, as I grew and I started hanging out with Yolanda and Kiana and Alora, you know, rest in peace, those became my sisters. And Danielle, like, you know, and I was in Jersey and then I started learning and seeing how Yolanda was treated, like, from her family. And I was like, wait a minute, this is a lot deeper than what the surface, what I'm seeing. And then as I started progressing and learning, and then it finally really clicked when I started dating Marquise. And I was like, wow, like this was, like that relationship was the most educational relationship I ever had. And I used to go to conferences with him and, you know, go to health fairs and stuff like that. And I was like, whoa, like this has a whole other meaning for me now, you know? And yeah, now I'm a big advocate because it's like, I mean, why? Like I see cis women now, even like on Twitter and stuff, and they're hating on trans women. I'm like, for what? Like, why? Like, I can't wrap my head around it now.
I think it's just something to, a lot of times when people don't understand things, I think it's just, because the fact that you took accountability, I love that and I applaud you for that. But sometimes some people don't have the ability to start to take accountability. They think they're doing something right.
Right.
They believe in their head.
And then there's always this conversation, are trans women women? What are your stance on that?
Yes, if that's what you.
What was that again? I'm sorry.
Are trans women women?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you.
Absolutely.
So getting away from that, I'm probably going off topic, but I want you guys to talk about some of the things that you are doing right now. And I know that you have a book, Life as a Queen, as well as Queer and Black in America.
So I'm raising money right now for a docuseries called Black and Queer in America. It's an 8-part docuseries where each episode is broken down as the acronym of the gay alphabet. So it's the LGBT. So each episode is what it's like to be Black and lesbian, what it's like to be Black and gay, what it's like to be Black and queer, what it's like to be Black and intersex or asexual. So I'm raising funds for that. So if anybody wants to donate, get at me. And then I'm almost finished with my book. It's called My Life as a Queen. And it's my life growing up in the ballroom scene and being a cis woman. And it's been tough because, you know, it's a lot of years of, you know, since 95. So it's been tough writing the book.
So we're going to come back to the toughness. And because I also, my next question is like, do y'all feel like there's a ceiling for y'all? Like y'all can't go so far or whatever. So remember that. And so I see you rapping these days and
Yes,
stuff.
I do music. I got some music. I've been doing music for a long time. I feel like now that I'm a part of Ballroom, though, I felt like it was time to get back into it because now I have a different audience. And now I've been networking and I've been learning a lot of stuff when it comes to my music. So I'm excited for the next journey.
Mini Nicki Minaj.
Yeah, you know.
I know you a Nicki fan.
You know,
I see you
Bart.
online, girl.
You know I'm a
I'm like,
Bart.
my baby.
Yes.
When Purp started going off, I'm
be
like,
arguing with the girls like the other girls do. Like I let everybody have their.
I'm like, here she goes.
I let everybody have their opinion.
Retired.
I'm like, here goes
will
that
take
bar.
you down.
But-
You be scared to say, I'd be like, let me just stay out of these conversations. So
Is that in the Gemini conversation? No, the Virgo. She don't like Virgos.
please.
Wait,
I'm
you
like,
don't like Virgos?
and I'm
What's
a
your
Virgo, right.
What's your sign?
See, I love the women. It's the men I can't take. It's wrong.
They usually sweet.
They are cheaters,
They usually
liars,
like,
deceivers.
well,
I am triggered. You see, I'm going in now.
Every time I see
I
see those two conversations.
I just can't. And I've had 4, so I know. I kept trying.
So you've been a mother, and have you never been overall mother?
Yeah, I
You
was.
have been
Well,
on-
I shared the title with Deja.
Okay.
We were overall House of Jordan. Yeah.
Okay. So, and do you plan on being a mother in the regular? I mean, is that a goal for you?
I definitely want to be an overall mother one day.
Okay.
That's definitely a goal of mine.
What was your experience like being an overall mother as a cis woman?
Again, it was difficult because I did a lot for the house. Me and Dee were pretty much like, we were running meetings. You know, Bernie had instilled in us, like he trusted in us to kind of like take the wheel a little bit. And when they told me they were gonna make me mother and I had to share it with Deja, I was hurt because I'm like, you know, Deja just got into the house. But again, back then she was the it girl, you know, and the it girl always took precedent to whatever was going on, whether it was the it girl in performance, the it girl in face. If you had an it femme queen in your house, that's who took precedent over everything. So
I want to say, can
Yeah,
we get
we talk about that, like,
can we get into that?
showpiece
Can we-
mother versus,
Yeah,
like,
so-
you know,
Can we
being
get into that
hands-on and
because
the aesthetic,
a
taking
lot of
precedent.
a lot of people have an issue with that, and sometimes they take it out on the mother, and sometimes
you mean like being the showpiece or
because like you just said that the mother is, you know, she becomes the it girl, like
Yeah.
she's the it girl, so she becomes like the mother. She gets the things that other girls may want or feel like they deserve because they have maybe put in work in that house, in which they should. But what do you guys think about this? Like, what do you guys think about these issues that are going on as far as like the it girl coming in and taking positions and doing these things?
Well, I don't think it happens so much as it did back in the day.
It's still
I mean, well, maybe I'm not seeing it, you know. And the people that I've experienced, like actual like face-to-face experience, or you know, they're involved. So, and again, I'm not like as engulfed with the scene as I was back then. So, I mean, I can't speak to that.
So why was that an issue for you with Deja?
Well, again, because I was doing the work.
Yeah.
And it was like, it almost felt like, well, you're a cis woman and you can't handle being the full overall mother. You know what I mean? That's how I took it. That's not what was said, but that's how it was taken. And then an incident happened with me and Deja, and I tried to be correct about it, and it just didn't play out the way it should have played out, and that's what prompted me to leave. And then I became the first New Jersey mother of Balenciaga. New Jersey, New York mother. Yeah.
I think that's a big issue that sometimes the it girl has to go through, as because sometimes people in the house, they have issues with her or with these individuals that come in and get positions, and they take it out on them.
So
But
did
I was
y'all
the it girl
rather
too.
showpiece- Right.
I was the it girl too, so it was just kind of like.
So, what would you tell a mother, like, as you see like she says, she wants to become an overall mother in the scene, right? What advice would you give to a woman who's looking to be mother over a house and ballroom, from your experience?
Ooh, definitely have your own mind. Definitely have your own mind, and be part of the process. Be part of your house. You know, like I'm sure every house has bylaws and has guidelines. Be a part of that. Be a part of like the rules and the house dues. Like actually be involved with the kids. Don't take it as just a title. Like actually engulf yourself in it. Like ask the kids what they're doing outside of their personal life, you know, outside of ballroom.
Thank you.
And that was like a big thing for me too. Like especially with my kids, it's like, what are you doing outside of ballroom?
Thank
Like
you.
you had to have a job, you had to be in school or something. Like
I
what are
think
you
that's
doing?
so hard nowadays when there's over 200 kids in houses now. Like that's so hard. Do you think there should maybe be more than more than one overall parent?
Well, I think that's why, you know, the chapters are
local
created.
chapter.
Yeah.
I was going to say, because then they have leaders,
Yeah.
and then they have
The
like different
chapter- chapter
positions,
parents.
so people could actually facilitate that in a way. That's why leadership is in
Right.
place.
What do y'all think about this conversation that we have now? A lot of times, you know, you're from, you know, my generation and you're from the newer generation. And a lot of times now we have this conversation about family versus organization. And so houses have moved towards more of an organization where we came from more of a family aspect. Of course, it was an organization, but we moved like a unit. How do you feel now? What do you lean more towards?
I'm still a family girl. I still miss the family aspect of it, you know, but I've kind of also evolved into my own woman as well. So yeah, back in the day, like the kids would come over and sleep over, we'd have dinner night, game night, or whatever that was. But I can't blame anybody for that, for me evolving as well and taking on other life things. But you have to grow with the times too. Like, you know, we're on TV, we're getting money, so it's like you have to now move as an organization. But however, I feel there has to still be that family aspect, because then you'll start losing members, and then people can other houses can poach your kids, and they're gonna leave because they're like, oh, hey, I could get a shot at being on TV at this house, so let me pack my bags and go.
And we ain't got a connection anyway. So.
Right. Right. It's not like you invited me over for dinner, so.
How do you feel, Purp? Like, you know.
I'm definitely big on family because I came from a family orientated, side of things. So when I came into Ballroom, I just looked at it as like having extended family for me.
And I think that's important. You hit the key, like that was key. It's important that you keep those family bonds, because if the connection is not there and they are offered something else someplace else, they'll go. But it seems like that's what everyone is going for now. They're going to houses where they think that they have an opportunity. And
absolutely.
It's just, to me, you're going to do what you're going to do, but I would never be a part of a house if I did not feel like it was family orientated. Yeah. And it's very important, because after you give your talents, I always say this, when the trophies and the money is given out and the lights of the ball is off, what happens to the person who spent all that money and lost? Where's the family? How are we holding them? How are we making sure that they have jobs, that they're doing things? Ballroom is one thing, and it's great to do that, but it's important that you invest in these people that are in your house.
Absolutely.
I want to say children, but then there's a new thing that was taught to me, like when you're calling them children, you must understand that these are adults. So it's good to say members. How do you feel about that word, family, children, and members?
I feel like it just separates the two. Because sometimes we do get members that still act like kids, even though they're adults.
Okay.
We still get that. So I definitely understand, the different aspects.
Mm-hmm. How did you like Asia as an overall mother?
I mean, you making it up.
Let's get it hot.
Uh-oh.
Get it hot.
Let's
get the shit started.
Not right. Now we're talking.
Okay.
My face is gonna have to be the clickbait.
But I can definitely say for me, she was fat. As you see in the lovely picture, she did that.
Okay.
She worked with me. She called me. She even sent me money for the deposit for the makeup artist. Like, she was always very hands-on with me. That's my truth, and that's my story. Mm-hmm. It was sad to hear other stories, and it wasn't what I experienced, but she was a good overall mother to me.
Did you stand up for her when, like, the other, like, house members, like, came against her in that moment?
I can definitely say I was neutral. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I was neutral because I am cisgender. And I feel like sometimes when we speak up, it's a lot of backlash. Really? It's a lot of backlash. I mean, I've even seen it.
Do you feel stifled in your? Well, you.
Oh, absolutely.
But you feel stifled in.
I have a whole book about it.
Oh,
absolutely. And I mean, that's why I think I have such a big voice about it, because I'm like, nah, you ain't gonna tell me to shut the fuck up. Like, that's not happening. And it's interesting because I even have conversations now with women, and they're like telling me, like, they'll confide in me and tell me things that are going on in their house, and I'm like, what? I'm like, they said that to you?
Yeah, same.
And I'm like, that's crazy. Like, it's 2024, and that your house, I don't know if it's like they're like on the board or whatever, is saying that to you. Like, as a woman, like, that's wild to me. And yeah, I mean, it's like sometimes I feel like cis women and even trans women, again, are like a doll. It's like, oh, okay, well, let's just put her back up on the shelf when we don't need her, but then we'll take her off the shelf when we need her. It's like kind of that feeling sometimes. And I even hear too, like people have hit me up from overseas, and they're like, hey, you know, I saw your post, or thank you for adding me to the group. What can I do? This situation just happened. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, well, I'm not in Paris right now, but, you know, and I try to give them advice as best as I can, but it's like across the board. It's not necessarily just here.
Why did you leave Balenciaga at first? Because you left and then you went back.
So the first time I left, Harold and I got into it. And I mean, it's very public knowledge that me and Harold, you know, we have a love-hate relationship. And we got into it, and I was like, you know, I was angry with him. And at the time, he used to go back and forth with Tony Milan. Rest in peace, Tony. And I was like, fuck that, I'm going to the House of Milan, because I wanted to make him mad. And it didn't last long, because I got over there, and it didn't feel, for me, and again, maybe because I was a newcomer coming in, it didn't feel family oriented. And I was like, I kind of felt like the outcast. I kind of felt, you know, like I didn't fit in necessarily. And again, it was just like a matter of like, Tony, like, oh yeah, him and Harold going at it, like, oh yeah, put her in the house. You know, that kind of like just to get back. I never walked as a Milan. And then I went back. I went back to the house, and I was, you know, stripped of my title. They were like, oh, well, you could come back, but you're not mother. I was like, okay,
There's
cool.
gotta be some type of consequence.
I mean, yeah, right. Absolutely. There was some type of consequence. And then that was that. And then I left again, which I was kind of like.
You left what?
Yeah. Well, when
You and me.
Yeah.
Leave and go
Well,
back
remember
a
when
couple of times.
we became Blondics
We became
together?
Blondics. You think she came with me tomorrow?
Yeah, well, I didn't. And at that time, I was dating Marquise, and he was like, oh, we're leaving. And I'm like, fuck. And we're dating, like, that's my man. I'm like, all right, well, I guess I got to follow him.
Man, I'm gonna stick beside
Right,
him.
I'm sticking by him. Look, I'm sticking beside him. So, you know, it was just kind of that type of thing. And we didn't stay there long either. And then I stayed at 007 for a minute, and I was getting ready to be put in the Hall of Fame. And Yancey was like, you might as well just come back home, you know, go in the Hall of Fame as a Balenciaga. And that's what I did.
Do y'all, I'm sorry, y'all, I'm just jumping in to ask y'all a question. But do y'all feel like y'all get acknowledged as much as you should as this woman in the scene?
I feel like now I'm getting the recognition that I feel like I deserve, and soon 7 years you helped me walk in. You know, now that, you know, I'm
After
getting
7
award-
years?
Yeah, after 7 years, you know, we're here, we're finally here. And I feel like that's where, you know, the fight comes in, where you just keep going. You keep going and going and going.
I'm going to say no. And the reason I say no is because, yeah, like, I'm probably the most decorated cis woman in the scene, but sometimes it doesn't feel like it. And sometimes I have to remind myself, like, when I look back and I'm like, holy shit, like, I'm the first cis woman to get Mother of the Year, like, all these, like, history-making moments, and I forget myself because I'm like, nobody ever reminds me, nobody ever recognizes it, until I say it. And like, holy shit, let me run down my history real quick. And then I almost feel, I don't want to say ashamed, but it's almost like, you know, I don't want to feel like cocky or whatever, so I'm almost like, I'll write a post, you know what I mean? And then I'll like question myself, should I?
That shit, talk your
Right.
shit.
I'm like, should I post this? Is this like brat? Like, you know, and I get in my head and I'm like, well, wait a minute, bitch. Like, no, you better post it. Let these motherfuckers know.
Yeah, you did your
Because if I don't say it, who's going to say it for me?
You have definitely battled some of the best of us.
You too, girl.
So, as someone who is watching like generations of women coming up, are there any women in the scene that you like walking face right now? What are some top women that you like?
Oh, all of them. Like, they all do a big one. Like Purp, Janae, the new one in my house, Star. Yeah, there's so many women. Who's that? What's that Asian's name? The
kind of be going back and forth with. How is
And I didn't mean to say
is
it
that
like that.
becoming your rival? You think, or
Who?
is,
No.
Wait, what? She
she
just
said,
came out in
I
a
don't
new
know
house.
her.
She used to be a Ricci. I think
Oh,
it's-
Zaza?
Oh, Zaza.
Zaza.
She's a
Which I think-
Lambon now.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah,
11.
she's 11 now. Yes. I feel like in the beginning it was Janae.
Oh, you and Janae.
I feel like it was us in the beginning, but then she kind of stopped, and then Zaza came. But I don't really know who my rivalry is, because it's like nobody's like consistent enough for me to be like, this is the girl I am battling all the time. When I'm in the back, I gotta be ready for her. I thought it was gonna be Lola Prodigy, but it was the same. Like, She came out for that 1,000, sat me, and it was like, oh no, girl, you
The
gotta come back out.
consistency,
Like,
yeah.
You want your lick
Same.
back.
I gotta get my lick back, sister. Like, we
Right.
gotta do our dance.
Yes.
So yeah, I don't
We gotta
know.
do our
And that's the
dance.
one thing too. I think, like to your point,
Like they keep me on my toes.
Yeah,
and I like that.
I wish I would have had a
I'm
rival.
very competitive, so it's
Yeah.
like I need that.
Yeah.
Shouts to the ladies. Shouts to the first lady of Landon as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I wish I would have had a rival, because it's like same, like even back then it was like there was no consistency of like, you know, there's people they try to make you a rival or pitch you against, and it's just like,
And it's hot
well, if
for
I
a
keep
minute.
beating her, she's not my rival.
Right. So,
She has to beat me
Right, you
once.
got it right.
so follow-up question for you. So as someone who is seeing that, do you feel challenged by the women? Do you feel like they come to you? And how do you mete out like advice, knowing that some won't take it?
Well, all the experience I've had with cis women that have come to me for advice, they've been really receptive.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't think like our unit is like really different because again, it's unique. Like we're this minority in the scene, so I think everybody kind of takes the advice, like they really, you know, cling to it because they're like, okay, like she knows what she's talking about. She's been here before. So I don't think it's a matter of them like saying like, okay, it goes in one ear and out the other. Like I've never experienced
It's
that.
so different with us. Like
Be
the
like, that
new
bitch-
girls be like, oh,
that
she's
bitch can't
old,
take
she
it.
can't take it. Like it's
Girl,
just so
she don't
different.
want me to grow, this and that.
Yeah, she don't want to see me grow. She can't take it. Wow,
Well, I
thank
think
you
we
for
should
that.
get. Would y'all have any more? Y'all want to get to the hot shot?
Let's
I'm gonna get to that.
Oh yeah, come on, let's.
get to
I
that.
was ready for the.
Let's
Look,
get it.
Okay, because the lights is already
I
hot,
played
honey.
this interview in my head. I played the interview in my head, and I'm like, oh, let me get ready
Okay.
because I already know. So
You want to
Tempress,
get at your ass?
Look,
'Cause we
she-
got into it before too.
listen, she's known me for a very long time, so I was like, oh, what's this bitch gonna ask me? And I'm playing the
No, we
interview
grown.
out in my head, and I'm
No, we
like,
grown,
oh,
we grown.
and me, and like I'm an open book. So if you ask me, I'm not gonna be like, I'm gonna be like, yeah, fuck it, I did it.
No, because I was like, Jamie got some history. I'm like, we can ask Jamie a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Jamie, you know, like she said, she's paying. So you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But before we
we've
get into the
seen
questions,
some
I asked
things.
you, who are some women that you like today?
I'm the same like Jamie. I like all of them. I feel all women bring something different to the floor every time. Like Zenta, you know, like the Mugleres, the Lavins. Like I just feel like everybody that I've gotten the chance to battle has given me something that I needed in that moment.
Got you.
Yeah.
And it's so refreshing to see the women out now. Like
Yeah.
it's been so refreshing.
outside.
Like
They in the
it's
field.
really been good to see it like come back into this like thing that it is right now.
So we have this question, Purp, also. What is your experience with being in the House of West? Like, you know, a lot of people talked about last episode, I believe it was, when we talked about people going to a house that has a lot of competition in their house. So you hear people like, oh, West got all this, such and such, West got all this and that.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Both of you come from big houses. Do you guys like being in big houses?
I do, because I've always wanted a big family. So, you know, when I decided to part ways with Milan, I was like, okay, like, where am I going to go? Where do I see myself now? Now I'm putting on the big girl panties, and I'm doing this by myself now. So I definitely wanted to make sure that the experience that I wanted for myself in Ballroom, I was going to get that in my next house. And, you know, when I saw the West, I was just like, this is it. Like,
So you were the only girl, like you were the only woman's face for a while, or like.
I
but
feel
now-
like there was women's face, but it was like when I got in the house, I felt like they stopped walking.
So now y'all added some more.
So now we got
like
new girls. Yes,
You like that,
I'm
having-
excited.
okay,
Yes,
cool.
I've been dying.
And Yaz is
begging.
still in the house?
Yes, I've been begging for a face squad. I think it's important to have it because sometimes if I can't walk, girls send out Yaz, and she's been killing it right now. Shout out to Yaz West. Okay.
Yeah, so we'll be right back with the shot hour game.
So you know what time it is. This is where we get crazy, we get sexy, and we get cool. This is the Femme Queen Crazy and Sexy Cool Shot Game Hour. And we're about to get messy with the girls. Stay tuned.
And we're back. So digging that Digging a bowl, girl. Let's see.
Shot. Okay. Picking two right there. Okay. I'm like, why is it so sticky? Name one woman's face you don't see it for. Ooh.
Y'all is waking it up.
Yeah, this is what we was waiting for. This
I mean, you can take a shot if you don't want to answer.
Oh, you can
some
answer.
things.
I don't think that's in her style not to answer.
I'm trying to think.
Oh my God.
It can be from any time
A woman's face that I don't see.
that you didn't, even if you just didn't see, like when they walked and back in the day, however you want to answer it.
Oof. I'm gonna take a shot.
Yes. Okay.
Sorry, listen, I keep it real, but I gotta take a shot on that.
Okay.
What about that child?
Okay. Another one, right?
Yes.
Oh, y'all gonna have me leaving here drunk. I don't really drink like that. Name someone from your generation that is overrated. What the fuck?
It's kind of like the same.
Well, we could
question.
just switch that. For
Yeah, go to the
Okay. I'm like, y'all gonna have people looking for me in these streets.
Well, it's crazy. So listen,
That's the crazy
that's-
bar.
What's every gender you've been with? I guess all of them.
Also, you have been with trans women?
I kissed one, but I've never. Yeah, I mean, it was like I was on E.
Wait, what?
I was on E. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's talk about the mushrooms, girl. You
Oh
got to fill
yeah,
us in on the mushrooms.
yeah.
We can talk about that after.
So yeah, I mean every gender.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, this is the last one.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh-oh, I'm nervous. Have you ever had sex with a femme queen? If not, would you? Oh, we
already
answered that.
answered that.
Yeah.
We answered that.
Yeah.
So sorry.
You can
Who
take
wrote
the
these
next
questions? Are these same questions?
I mean, do you want to give me a sneak one? You know me, sis.
Which femme queen do you want to be with besides Amaya that you would date?
Oh, what is that one's name? She's a Mugler.
So before you move on, so when you see a trans girl and you get that, oof, what are you thinking about? Like what? Like.
I mean, well, I'm just attracted to, well, first of all, it's the energy. You know, like I'm an energy person. So if the energy comes across great, you know, and then the femininity, like that's why I don't think like I would ever stop fucking with women. Like I could probably settle down with a cis man or a trans man, but I have to have some type of caveat where it's like, hey, if I want to go have some fun, I can, because women are just like, they're fucking amazing. Like they're so sexy, you know, like the body, everything, like the curves. So it's like sometimes when I see, you know, a femme queen I'm attracted to, that's what I'm like, oof. Like sit on my face.
You heard it here.
Heard it here first. What about the mushrooms?
We can come back to that.
Let
Let Purp do her question. Put her in the hot seat for a minute.
Oh yeah, I guess it's my turn. All right, let's see what she said.
Purp, shot.
Who do you want at the next ball?
Ooh.
Now can this be anybody?
Anybody?
Yes.
Anybody.
Put it out there, sis.
Okay. Who's going at the next
Call
ball?
her out, call her
Damn.
out.
Who's going at the next ball? I don't even know what's the next ball I'm walking.
It don't matter who you want.
But when
Who you want?
walk, like if you had a hot, who would your hot battle be with? Like your next battle, you feel?
I really want to see. She's in your house. Tyra Balenciaga, the femme queen. Is that her name? Tyra?
Taryn?
Tiara?
Taryn? You talking about Taryn?
Taryn from California, from LA.
Yeah,
Yeah, Taryn.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to dance with her for a minute. She's so beautiful.
Oh, she'll come get a piece of you?
Yeah, I think we would make it hot. Like, I think that would be fab.
It would be.
Yeah.
Because y'all kind of
I
do
like
have that
Taryn.
similar, like, that
Yeah, and
shaped
she's so
face
cute and
stuff. Yeah.
petite. Like,
Yeah.
I need that. And she's always in Fab Effects. So
Okay. come on,
Okay.
Taryn.
Roll that.
She want a piece.
No, give her a juicy
next
question.
one.
She got to take a shot.
Okay, okay. Let's see.
Purp gonna mind now. She gonna
I know, I
answer.
see.
I know the Gemini. Name one person that you think should never be on panel ever again.
That's a good question.
That is a good question.
We should have asked
Oh, you can
Jimmy
take a shot.
I'm gonna take a shot because everybody loves me, so I
Be political.
She went away.
I don't be having these issues that the other
Right.
girls have.
She
You
don't want
know,
no issue.
She wants that person's vote.
Right. And you know how
with no
ballroom
issue.
is.
you know.
You know, you got to
She's a
be
like
political.
girl.
She like, no, ma'am, I'm not asking
Whisper it
that.
in Tabytha's ear. We won't tell.
No, I'm serious. She's okay. Okay, another one. Which femme queen do you want to battle? Okay, so when I
This is
first,
a
Same question.
Gonna
Take
say
the other
somebody
one.
said
oh
that.
no,
Take the other one, girl.
but I got another femme queen. But
Oh, okay.
You can answer all of them, girl. Answer all of them, girl.
Who's the other femme queen?
I feel like I really need another round with Lola, Shannon. Like I need all
she
that.
want all
again.
that,
Like yeah, I need all that.
Okay.
Get outside.
I like that. That's the femme queen in you.
Of course, honorary. Hello.
Yeah.
Name 3 butch queens in the scene you want to fuck. Okay, well, there's more than 3.
Oh.
Okay, there is more than 3.
Get active.
But name your first 3.
My first 3, definitely. Well, he at my house, Josh. Love him.
What's your other the pretty boy?
Josh.
Yes, like our energy is just so fab. Arnaz,
So
Alpha
wait, are you the
Omega.
strap-on type, or you just want?
No, you gotta do me.
gotta
I
do
know.
yourself.
I know the girls think I'm really out here
Not saying
topping,
that
but
these
I'm
people
really
get
not.
topped.
Like I'm just saying I'm not. You know, I'm not against it.
Women are pegging these days.
Yes, but I
just
am
wanna
not the
make
woman
sure.
that's doing it.
Okay, she wants.
I mean, I would love to experience that.
But I've had a butch queen ask for that. But I'm like, ooh, he was.
Well,
just
can
too
you pass
big.
them to me?
Yeah, because he was very big, and I just feel like I'm so small and dainty. Like it was no.
That's strap-on
Arnaz.
experiences.
Yes, Arnaz, Alpha
Arnaz.
Omega, and those are only 2 like I could like really think like I'm begging for like, like really begging,
I'm
She's
begging.
begging, baby.
like begging.
Ooh.
Okay.
If I think of the 3rd one, I'll say it. But as of right now, those are like my top 2. My top 2
What
favorite.
about
Yeah,
those
that
shrooms?
strap-on situation is a lot different.
That's the
You
one
said
we
you
let's.
want that?
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, the first time I ever strapped a woman, I was like, oh my gosh.
Right,
I was
like,
like, this is
isn't
what
that a
y'all
lot of
niggas be
work?
feeling?
Do the trans men let you?
No,
Oh, okay. No. Just wanted to know.
no.
So
No.
I'm just asking. I'm just asking. So close us out with the mushroom experience, because we all wanted to, like, experience. I know you was telling me it's like a little, there's an experience that kind of opens your mind artistically
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff. What exactly has that been like for you?
So, I'll say I dabbled with mushrooms since I was younger, like when we were hanging out and clubbing and stuff, but I didn't.
Tell me.
Well, but it wasn't like a good experience because I wasn't using them correctly.
Okay.
Psychedelics, they open you up to, I forgot how much % of brain they say we use, but it opens up your brain and you go into other, I don't know if you guys believe that we've all been here before and live in past lives. So mushrooms kind of take you on this journey, and it's a spiritual journey. So like, you can talk to past relatives or your ancestors and stuff like that. So originally when I started taking mushrooms, I wasn't taking them right. So I'd always have bad trips, and it would take me to dark places. And like I've literally packed up my apartment behind some mushrooms, and because I was so paranoid, I got the fuck on. But then as I got older and I started learning about it and connecting with different people, I ended up doing a shroom journey about, I want to say like maybe 8 years ago. And it knocked me off of my feet, where I was like, whoa, I'm dealing with all this trauma, all this childhood trauma of like being left out and not picking the right friends. And it just made me see a lot of people I was dealing with for who they were. Like when I came off of that journey, I was like, oh, yep, I'm not talking to you, I'm deleting you. And it just made me like, it dropped my ego. It also, gave death to my ego. I used to have anxiety really bad. Especially being in ballroom, like, I'm always thinking somebody's out to get me, like I had like all this psyche around, like, people in the ballroom scene don't like me. Like what, like I went through that whole thing, and this actually broke me out of that. So as I went on with the shrooms, I started just researching it, like reading books and learning about microdosing. I still microdose to this day. Like I'll do 3 days of microdosing on and then 3 days off. And it just really helps with like my writing, my creativity. It just it unblocks like all the patterns and the things that we've been taught. It kind of just like crumbles it down. So
I need a guide on that because I think I need help with that.
yeah. I mean, I suggest, I really honestly, I suggest everybody do a full journey at least once, where you have to take like 3.5 or more grams.
I got nervous, which I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, and I mean, there's trip sitters. Like I've trip sitted for people. Like I've done that before for people.
Man,
And
scary.
no, it is. I mean, it is scary because there's things in your life that you might not want to face. Especially if you know you've had trauma. It's like, but however, like it helps you face that trauma and get past it.
Yeah, I'm doing
There were so many things that I didn't realize that, being adopted.
I was going to.
Yeah, being adopted and being, a black and white woman growing up in a predominantly white neighborhood, I had a lot of trauma of being left out. And that's what the ballroom scene gave me, though. It like included me. So it was like, whoa, like it was a whole different perspective. But the mushrooms helped me deal with that.
So for years you didn't know your dad.
No,
You didn't.
no.
You found your dad.
Yeah, I found him in 2019. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Like, it's funny. I was just saying the other day, I was like, not that I want to leave this earth tomorrow, but if I did, I'd be happy because he really completed me. Because growing up, I always knew, like, I was attracted to rap and the B-boys and the clothing. And everyone used to be like, oh, you don't know if you're black. You might be Hispanic. I always get, are you Spanish? And I never could answer. But then when I found out who my dad was and I saw the photo, I'm like, oh, I'm black. Like, he's black. I'm like, yes. All this time I've been fighting power to the people.
Yes.
I protest and shit. Now I'm like, oh, shit, I'm black. So it's been a blessing. It's been a blessing.
I have one final question. I know that you said that you feel like, ballroom suppresses your voice. Can you both tell me one thing that ballroom has contributed to you, to the women who may be watching and thinking about getting in ballroom? What has ballroom done for your confidence and you as a whole?
When I came into ballroom, I was real broken. Like, I was in a real tough place. I was just getting out of that toxic relationship with that Virgo. I'm sorry. My self-esteem at that time was really low. So when I came into ballroom and my father found me, I felt like I was gaining my power back from like that, being in that 5-year relationship with him. It was like, this is my time now. I got people that are rallying behind me. They uplifting me every time I come out. They're telling me, you're doing your thing. And that was just what I needed to like continue.
Ballroom gave me confidence. I mean, point blank. Like, again, I was this child that grew up in this neighborhood that, I was always the odd man out, the oddball, the brown boiled egg, didn't know who I was. And ballroom, it's the truth. The chia pet, you know what I mean? The big curly hair. Like, the white kids didn't know. Like, back in the, 80s, like, come on. And so it's like, yeah, ballroom gave me confidence. It was like, it opened up this door of, like, I can be whatever I want to be. Like with the glam, watching the TV shows with my mom, watching the red carpet. I had models plastered on my wall growing up. So it was like, ballroom gave me that. I was like, oh, I could finally be Christy Turlington. I could finally be Naomi Campbell. It might not be at Fashion Week, but guess what? I'm up on a motherfucking runway showing my stuff. Like, so it's almost like, I am a celebrity in my own way of our culture, of our scene. And everything that I thought as a little girl watching these shows, and I've become. So that's what ballroom gave me. It gave me the confidence to be who I wanted to be.
And on that note, Nationwide is on. No.
I was like, wait. This bitch really busting into a commercial.
I was watching Cat Williams this morning before
Oh,
I
yeah,
came.
the little girl.
That was such a cute Nationwide is on your side. No.
Well, let's work on getting them a sponsor for this show.
Okay. So you have just watched another episode of Femme Queen Crazy.
Sexy.
Cool.
Thank you, ladies, so much.
No, thank
It has
you.
been a pleasure.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I had a blast.
Yes.